Alright, some of you guys wanted some updates on these cheap Chinese Alibaba headers or whatever. Came with all the pipes after the header, mids, and I guess where your resonator would be, or it goes into your resonator. My resonator is deleted, so probably just have to modify these. It looks like they bolt together, I'm guessing, with these brackets. Not too bad though. All mandrel bent. Decent piping. But they're all welded in here, back welded. Flange is fairly thick, and they're welded on the outside too. Their welds are pretty decent. I don't know how thick this metal is. This metal's not terrible, a little thinner than average, I guess, but I mean, they're fairly cheap and inexpensive. I'm not going to complain about $400 headers. These are Becker headers that I've been modifying for a project I got. Flanges are about the same thickness. These holes are a little bit better, I feel like. These are kind of wallered out for some reason. Maybe some washers on there would be fine, but these are ground down, I guess, after they weld them. I can't tell if they've been welded internally or just externally. Weld on these aren't terrible either. I don't know how thick that is. I guess looks to be about the same thickness on that little lip right there. But these are getting cut up for another project. Just a little comparison. So I'll get these fitted in. They look to me just like headers that somebody else has been selling, or things I've seen on, Instagram ads and stuff. They look identical, and they're like $1,200 or $1,500, $1,800 headers. As far as I know, these mid pipes and extension pipes only fit the C class. So I've got my pipes kind of cut out already, or the cats and whatnot. We'll go ahead and get these manifolds off and see how those headers fit up in here. All right, I got this manifold off. Set this coolant tank to the side, give me some more room. This is the setup I had going up. 11 mil, little extension to get me kind of away from that manifold a little bit. It's kind of tight in there, but not too bad. I've done this probably 2-3 times now. So the only bolt you get to from the bottom is the very last bolt underneath the manifold, and then you're good. Highly recommend doing motor mounts. I've already done mine, and it's somewhat of a pain, but if you're doing headers, or you plan to do headers and you've never done motor mounts, definitely recommend doing motor mounts. 10 times easier. Take you 5-10 minutes to do motor mounts. With that exhaust out of the way, they come right out. So we'll keep moving. Get to this side. This side's a little bit more of a pain, but it can be done. All right, so on this side, got basically all the top ones from up here, or all the top bolts. Disconnected this AC line, or I have access to an AC machine luckily, so got this line. It usually goes like this, so I popped it, laid it out of the way to give me some more room. Now we'll go underneath to get the rest of the bolts, pull that off, and start fitting the headers. All right, I got the left side manifold out. Both are out. I got the new pipes in. They're still kind of loose. I don't have them tightened down all the way. This one's pretty loose. I still need to get the top bolts and nuts on this side, but I recommend putting all the bolts and nuts on loosely, making sure everything threads in. Taking this right side manifold out was relatively easy, had a decent amount of room. It took me maybe 20 minutes once the exhaust pipe's off. This left side took me a little longer, 30-40 minutes. Pulled the steering shaft, moved it out of my way. There's a little cover that goes up over this, and then you take the bolt out, slide that in. This kind of falls out of the way. But got the pipes in. I'll take these brackets off. I no longer need them. They bolted to the old exhaust, but they fit. Like I said, this isn't really bolted down yet, but it should be right about in there. And this side's relatively snug. Pretty decent fitment. I mean, pretty good clearance up and through there. A little snug over here, but good clearance. I don't know if I can see in through here, but yeah, so I just need to tighten those down, run my pipes, and kind of see where those lay. The shorter pipes that it came with are curved to go over this pipe or this brace. Most people I've seen delete these. I like to keep them. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I just gotta finish tightening these down, put my O2s in, and then we'll be back in a sec. Okay, this side's pretty much tight. This is a little snug for my liking. This rear O2, front O2's plenty of space. This one's solid. It's about where she's gonna sit. It's pretty good. A little tip on this one. Go through up in here with an extension. You can get to some of these bolts with a wobble socket. This one is a pain to get to. That one top of the motor mount. So what I did is I got a long extension, swivel, 11 mil. That went up through here, through that hole, top of the motor mount, and then put my ratchet on here. You can probably get a little bit shorter one, but tightened it up that way. Saved me a bunch of time on that one. And the rest are somewhat of a pain to get to, but a lot of them I can get to them with this here. A couple of them on the bottom I'll get with this ratchet wrench flex head, 11 mil. Saves me a little bit of time. Otherwise you just kind of got to go at it with a wrench. But get the rest of these tightened up, put that steering shaft back, and then see how these rear pipes fit. Alright, so I forgot to make a video showing the rest of the exhaust piping and stuff, but all that fit pretty well. The mid pipes, extension pipes. I kind of loosely put them in place, and then went and had an X pipe put on. And when I got the car, the mufflers were cut off, so I put factory C63 mufflers back on it. I like the way they sound. The next video you see will be just straight pipes, no X pipes, no muffler. But this is what it sounds like with X pipe and C63 mufflers. This will be cold start. Pretty quiet cruising. I don't really hear anything cruising. There's no drone. Straight pipe, obviously there's a heck of a drone. It's a little obnoxious for me. It sounded good, but I just couldn't do it as a daily. So but I love the way this one sounds. But cruising, you don't really hear anything, so I'm happy with it.